So today I'm wearing the weirdest ring in like all of humanity, but I love it. And today I want to talk to you about the European waxing salon. And if you guys follow my blog, which I like never update, recently I have been updating it with little posts and stuff. You guys know that I prefer to wax rather than to shave. And if you guys want videos on waxing and shaving, shaxing and waving, yeah. If you guys want videos on shaxing and waving, I'll link them to you here. The difference between waxing and shaving, maybe help you guys figure out what's better for you, that kind of stuff. Ingrown hairs on Talkin' Tuesday, all that good jazz. So if you have questions, you can check there. But you guys do know that I prefer to wax. Also, as a model, it's kind of a requirement that you don't have a lot of hair, that you have your nails done and stuff like that, because if you show up to a photo shoot and you've got really hairy armpits, or, okay, Lady Gaga brought back the leotard, which is like a swimsuit with like long sleeves. And even though I would never wear a leotard in real life, in fashion and stuff like that, sometimes you have to. And the problem is, you know, even if it's like your bikini line or your legs or something, you can't have hair everywhere. And waxing for me lasts longer than shaving, so that's just what I prefer to do. But I wanted to bring you a review of the European waxing salon because recently I've been getting a lot of different services done, and I've been going to different places and trying out different salon people and stuff like that, I guess you could say. And I kind of wanted to tell you a little bit about it. And honestly, okay, the wax that they use is called beeswax or whatever. It's supposed to be like 100% natural and non-irritating, and I have very sensitive skin. In beauty school, if people waxed me, I would break out in hives on my legs or wherever I was being waxed. This does not irritate my skin nearly as much. Obviously, where the hair is pulled out, it'll be a little bit red, but it won't be as irritating for me. As far as the actual salons, they have locations everywhere. I love the locations. I love the quality of the products. What they do is that, you know, they use the wax, they rip it off, then they put, when they're all done, they put a serum on, which I love, and it's a mixture of glycolic, but it doesn't sting because it has lavender oil, it has aloe vera, has something with an H, and it's very, very soothing, and it will help to prevent those ingrown hairs. So I think that the products that they use are high quality and great. They have a ton of locations all over America. I don't know if they're international or not. And the actual facilities are very nice. They have seating chairs in areas. It's very clean. It's very crisp. It looks very, very professional. But I really think that the entire experience boils down to who you get. And of course you can request certain people. Well, that's the other thing, is that the pricing, it really depends. I think that it's about regular pricing. You're probably going to pay for that for a wax anywhere else, but the reason you'd want to do it here is because theoretically they have better products and that they have more locations. But for me, it really comes down to the person who's waxing you. You guys know that I once tried to get my eyebrows waxed and half my eyebrow was ripped off. Ever since then, I have tweezed. Well, it's been kind of crazy. There was this one girl, she's been waxing my legs for a little while. She's a pretty good established professional, and you know, I do go to other places to try to figure out, you know, which salons are better than others, and it really does depend on who you get. But she did my eyebrows, and they feel so pretty, and they look so natural, because I used to have to, like, you know, shape them and tweeze them and pluck them every day because they were getting way out of hand. So I am the happiest I've ever been in my life with my eyebrows. Yes, they could have a little bit more of an arch, but I don't think my eyes are naturally meant to do that. So maybe next time I'll go in, I'll ask her, but I'm just so happy. I'll kind of go through my experiences, and of course I want to hear your guys' experiences too. So as a model, I have to get waxed. Going to events, I have to get waxed, and then being here on YouTube, I want to review that kind of stuff for you. The first time that I got my legs waxed, of course, it hurt. The first time you get anything waxed, it's going to hurt, and then over time, it's going to decrease. And if you want to see all the nitty-gritty details, they're on my blog. But the first time I got my legs waxed, the lady, like, ripped them, and she ripped up on the wax panel. And that probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but the way you wax, you're supposed to rip this way, towards the skin, against the skin, with the skin. Reason why is because that will take all of the hairs out. Now when you rip up like this, instead of pulling the hairs out, it'll just break them. So it'll be like you shaved. And this lady was waxing my legs, and it hurt a little bit, and it hurt a little bit more in some areas. You know how that always is. And 2 days, 3 days later, I realized I was having a lot of ingrown hairs. My hairs were going back faster because they weren't completely ripped out. They had just been almost like this shave wax, you know, just completely cut. So I was very, very disappointed. Leg waxes cost $60. You can buy packages that make them cheaper, etc., etc. There was another time, that was the first bad experience. There was another time that I had to get my bikini area waxed. We were doing a photo shoot, we were working on stuff, and I had to get my bikini area waxed, which is awkward for me to talk about. But what there is that I guess that area is very, very sensitive, and what happened is that of course it hurts like there is no tomorrow, because that's just kind of how life is. But what happened is that the lady accidentally ripped part of the skin off, and it started gushing blood, and she was telling me that it was like an arterial vein or whatever that goes through your hip. I talked with another waxing specialist. That's probably not what it was, because I would have been dead. But there is a huge vein that runs through there. There was just a lot of blood. It was an open thing, and then I couldn't do my photo shoot, so I was very upset because I couldn't, the stuff that they wanted me in was like a bathing suit, like a one piece where it, you know, comes down like that, but it was so painful, like I couldn't even wear regular underwear because it would, you know, aggravate that area that had this big open wound. So needless to say, that was very unfortunate, and I didn't like, you know, complain or anything because she was probably new, she probably didn't know what was going on, but still, it really depends on who you get. So those were like my two horror stories. They were awful, they were terrible. But of course, as time went on, you know, the waxes get easier and they don't hurt as much. Two of the best experiences I've ever had. Like I said, if I'm doing it for YouTube, I always try to go somewhere different to review the different spot, to review a different place. But if I am going for a modeling gig, I usually try to go to the same girl, just because she's so professional and she's so nice to be around, and she's a real sweetheart. She does nursing, and my mom's in the medical field, so I was like, oh, that's cool. But what was I going to say? She is very professional, and when I need to have a professional job done, it's something I can really rely on. She's done my legs before, and she's very good when she does like a painful area. She's very good at applying pressure afterwards. I've noticed that not all of the waxers will apply pressure. Applying pressure after a wax helps it not to sting as bad or not be as painful. You can ask them, and I'm sure they will. But she does that automatically, and you don't have to ask and feel awkward. My armpits, they've never really hurt, they've never really stung, anything like that. Occasionally they will bleed a little bit, but that's just because the hair is being taken out. Depending on who you get, it's going to be a great thing or a terrible thing. As far as legs and stuff, I've never gotten my arms waxed there. I've gotten my legs, my bikini area, my eyebrows, and my underarms. I'm like a duck. Let me tell you, she did my eyebrows. She was the only one I trusted, and I was still really scared. She waxed them, she trimmed them. They look amazing, and she went with what I wanted plus my own face shape, so I was very, very pleased. So overall, do I like the European waxing salon? Overall, it depends on who you get. I would say I love it when I go to this one girl, and if it's anyone else, I would say maybe 6 or 7, and then if you get someone bad, the whole experience could be like a 1 or a 2 because you're gushing blood out the side of your leg. You know what I mean? But I think it definitely depends. My biggest suggestion for you, if you do want to get waxed, first off, I think it's a good establishment. If you want to get waxed, if you're going to do it regularly, they have packages, so it's cheaper. I do think it's a good price. I think that they have great quality products. They are everywhere, so I can go anywhere in the nation, really, or internationally. If they're international, I don't know if they are. Thing that I would recommend is always to get a recommendation for a waxer, or always recommend someone who's been there for a long time, because my horror stories have happened more than once with different people, and that just shows you that, you know, no matter how many times you go in, I've been waxed, what, hundreds of times? No, maybe like 50 in different areas, but you're always gonna get someone who may not know what they're doing, or who may have a bad day, or who may be new, you know what I mean? So always, if you're worried, I recommend going to ask for a professional, saying, hey, I want someone who's worked here for a while, or someone who's really good at this or really good at that. And also know your hair type. If you exfoliate before you go in for a wax, that is not a good idea. You do not want to do that. You do not want to be in the sun before a wax. Your salon people should ask you that. I've honestly never been asked that there. You should not have a sunburn, and you should not have exfoliated. Reason why is because waxing is a form of exfoliation, because it removes that top layer of skin, and it could rip your skin right open. And they should always ask you that. They've never asked me that, which is kind of like, eh. But not everyone's perfect. Maybe they're just busy. I'm sure they have clients in there all the time. Maybe it's like in a contract or something that if you come in here, they're not liable for ripping skin. I don't know. But that's just my overall thoughts and opinions. And for those of you who are interested in this salon or who have questions, I hope this helped. Be sure to comment below and tell me if you do have questions, if you've ever been there. Tell me your waxing amazing stories or your waxing horror stories in a video response, and I will link it in some cool little floaty videos over here that if you have more questions about whether or not you should wax, if waxing is right for you, what an ingrown hair is, how to get rid of ingrown hairs, shaving versus waxing, all those cool things will fly over here like little magical bumblebees. So click those little magical bumblebees before they sting me. I love you guys so much, and I hope that this helps you, and I hope to hear all of your waxing horror stories because I would like to laugh at those. I love you guys a lot, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye!